Hello! Welcome back to the channel. It has been a minute since I have been able to do an angle like this. Before I was using my ring light to do it, and now I have an actual stand that actually can get overhead shots properly. So, yay! We are painting. I have been painted in a little over 6 months, almost 7 months I would say, because it was like September or August, I can't remember. But yeah, haven't painted in a while and I really liked doing it. So I went to Five Below and the dollar store and got some paint supplies, and I spent less than $20 on all of it. So we're gonna do a little bit of a haul and then I'm gonna paint. So what you're looking at right now is the watercolors that I got from Five Below. There's 30 of them, and I reorganized them because I did not like the color setup. So we have the browns going into reds, going to orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, white, gray, black. And I also got some watercolor paintbrushes. They're good for acrylic and watercolor, but it's marble and they're pink. Very excited to open those. I also got some watercolor paper, 300 GSM, whatever that means, and there's 48 sheets, so we have plenty of paper to do some crafts. And at the dollar store I got two of the same things. I got this little tiny art palette set. There's 6 pieces of them, so I thought that was kind of cool. And then I got one of these. That's all the painting stuff I got. And before, when I was painting, I was using like this, which does not have all the colors, so I had to make a bunch of colors, and it was quite a hassle. And I ended up using like the lid, and this is like the last time I used it, the colors. So yeah, I went onto my tablet, since I'm filming from my phone, to get some inspo. I have been watching Ever After High. I'm reading the books, and I decided that I was going to try to do either a scenery from the show or something that kind of gives that vibe. Okay, let me go to gallery. So here are I got a bunch of inspo pics for the vibe of Ever After High. And I got, these are just some general images, and then I got some actual Ever After High ones here somewhere. Here we go. Like starting here, I would actually not draw the people because I'm not good with people yet. Don't know about the boat either, but this is something that I could probably do since I know it kind of looks like watercolor, and it's like abstract-y and not really like focusing on stuff. And then so I think these two, but this is from Ever After High, I think. Yeah, because this is the little watering the well. These are some Ever After High scenes that I was like thinking about which ones I should do. Ever After High ones, I kind of want to do this one. If I'm going to do Ever After High, I think I can do this because it's tree. I've done trees, I've done bushes. What I haven't done is a bridge. So that's going to be fun challenge. This is, I think there's either this one or, I mean, this one's a good one too, because I know I could essentially do this one. But I was looking at this one I kind of wanted to do because it kind of gives me Ever After vibes, or this one. And I can't ask you guys which one I should do. I also really like this one. Some of these I want to do eventually, but I have to like pick one. I think I'm leaning towards this one, but I think I'm gonna save this one for later when I'm a little bit more confident in it. And this one too, save that one. I might do this one since this one has the Ever After High symbol on it, and I think we're gonna do this. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this one. This is gonna be it. Just not gonna do the two characters, or the butterflies might add later, but this is the one I think we're gonna do. There we go. I might need more paint later, but we're gonna stick with this for now. I'm gonna add some water to it. I've never used this kind of paint before, so we're kind of just learning. And I don't know if you can see, there we go. Our sky. This is our green for most things, and then a lighter green, and then this is gonna be like the mountains in the back, and that's gonna darken up the mountains for the shadowing and stuff. And then this is like our sand and colors mixing in with the green. Gonna move that out the way and gonna open up the brushes. I'm very excited about the brushes. Here are our brushes. Now, my favorite brushes to use are the more skinny ones because I have more control. Plus, I'm always doing like smaller pieces. So, for now, we're going to stick all of these into this one. I'm going to open up our first piece. Now, if we remember correctly, this is the image we're trying to recreate. So we got our sky. Hopefully that looks like that. Our green, we're going to be mixing it with our brown color. We also have this green, and that is our mountains here. And then that's to do the shadowing. And yeah, we got the gray for the rocks. We also have brown to mix in with it to kind of get that coloring. And yeah, that's our color palette. Here's our piece of work, and I think I'm going to have it on like time lapse to have that going, and gotta keep this like right here. Okay, so here is what we have so far. It's the next day. I was recording this, and then my phone started dying, and so I don't know if it got everything that I've done during that time period. So here's what I've got so far. I am going to pull up the image of the inspo because I wanted to point out some things. Now, when I'm looking at it right now, this doesn't look that bad, but my area that I just don't like as much because I could not make the green to match was these two little bush things. I'm gonna see if I can. Okay, so these little bush things right here, I could not make that green. I have tried to make that green like several times. I've tried to make versions of that green so many times. It's not even all of them. So I have tried to make that green, and I literally couldn't. Like, this green, it's like a very is it cool green? A cool and like a muted green. And so I was like, oh, cool and muted, add gray. That would help. It did nothing. It did not help at all. So I had to keep splotching it. I use this paper towel to help me when I make a mistake to kind of absorb all the water and lightens it up a bit. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I did. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to get both of them next to each other so you can kind of see. Okay, so here is what I recreated. It's not exact, but I'm proud of it. Again, the only part I'm not too fond of is that little area there. I really liked how I was able to make this look relatively the same or similar. You know where I got the inspo from. I added the blue to it and then the green. I'm kind of going to call it a day on this project, and I want to do another painting. So I'm going to be reviewing the products that I used, just kind of see if someone else wants to spend less than $20 on watercolors. But yeah, first up, I'm just going to go with my little palettes. I really like these. I like that I got the little 6-pack of these. They were really helpful especially since I used this first and I ran out of space very quickly. This is the color palette I started off with, and then I was trying to make the perfect greens, and yeah, I went through so many palettes. But yeah, did that. I really like these. I definitely recommend getting your palettes from the dollar store because you can get a 6-pack for $1.25, and that's pretty good. I still got some clean ones, so I can just leave these and start painting again. I did end up using this. My sister let me use her watercolors, and this is what I've been painting with when I was painting. And I used these to help me make the perfect green. The paint brushes. I like them. I like the paint brushes. I'm not an expert in paint brushes. I've only used, these are dirty from the last time I painted, which was months ago. But I tend to use the same like I pick one brush and end up using that most of the time in painting. I did try to use different paint brushes, and you can see the ones that I use because they're green and blue. But I like that. I definitely think they're worth the money. It's like $5 and you get 10 brushes and you can do so much with it. I will say I would have liked if it had this one. This, I think, is one of the ones I really liked, and I really like these two are my favorite brushes. I can do more detailing since I tend to do a lot of scenery. I like these two. Where's my picture? Because with these two, I'm able to do like all of the little abstract-y grass and like leaves and stuff. And I tend to like the smaller brushes versus the bigger ones, so I didn't use these two. I did like the fan brush. The fan brush was also another favorite of mine because I was able to make the water, do like streaks in the water, and I did some streaks with the sand, trying to mimic that shape. So I liked that as well. Now, before I was using mixed media paper, which they say it's good for watercolor, and it is. I'm not saying it's bad for watercolor. This is not my art, so I'm not gonna. The paper is just not as thick. I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference, but this one is a bit thicker, I would say. Let's see. So it's that, which I don't know what that means. This is 300 GSM. But yeah, I really like this paper. You get 48 sheets for $5, and I think that's a pretty good deal. I tend to do paintings a bit smaller than this, like half the size. So I really like that. I will say that I wish it did have little dotted lines so I could not have the spiral part be part of the painting, because now I have to like cut it. Yeah. The stars of the show. This is the first time I have ever used liquid watercolor, and it's okay. I like that I can easily make palettes of colors with it. I just wish it had different colors, or I would be better able to make that green. I'll forever be upset that I could never make that green. So that sucked. But I really like these colors. I really liked, especially how I organized it, because the way they had it before was not, they had browns all over the place. But I fixed it, and I like these. I would give them a 8 out of 10. There's just certain colors I wish they had, or like a shade, like muted green, like that. They don't really have muted green, and I tried to make it myself, and it was impossible. Maybe if I used silver instead of gray to do it, maybe it would have been muted. And I was trying to make a cooler green. Like, you would think this would be the cooler green. No, this is more of a neutral green, I think. I'm not an expert in colors, but when you actually put it out, it doesn't seem as blue. And when I added blue, that didn't help. So yeah, I was never going to make that green, and I'm kind of bummed about it. And it's like, kind of brings down the whole picture to me. Like, this I could live with, but this part right here makes me wish I didn't make the bushes at all. and just made mountains. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on my painting supplies. And yeah, I'm very pleased with how it turned out overall. And oh, I will say, definitely trial and error with the paint, because I was making, this was like what I was using for like the sky, and I poured too much water into it, and I had to do like 5 or 6 layers of blue to make the sky because I used so much water, which is actually good because it didn't turn out too dark. But I ended up having to get a pipette and dipping it in and getting water that way, which I think works better. So this is an additional thing. If you don't already have a pipette, it might be a little bit more difficult. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on my painting supplies. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time.